This is Specular, and this is Specular, and this is Specular, and this is Specular, and this is part 2 of my LED lighting series. Specular is a new modular LED light system that's being referred to as the Swiss Army knife for lighting. In this video, I'm going to put Specular to the test, and I'm going to do my best to demystify those 3 letters that keep popping up when people talk about LED lighting. CRI. Stay tuned. Hey gang, my name is Joe Edelman, and my mission is to help photographers like you to develop a solid understanding of the hows and whys behind great photography so that you can achieve your goals as a photographer. The Swiss Army knife for lighting is a great reference for this new LED lighting system from Spiffy Gear. In case you don't remember, Spiffy Gear is the company that brought us the light blaster that I showed you in this video. Specular is a modular lighting system that can take on all kinds of shapes depending on your needs. And this can save you money and time needed to pack and set up light modifiers, especially when you're working on location. Each of these sections uses only 14.5 watts of energy, which means just 58 watts for a kit of 4 sections. Each section puts out 1,500 lumens of light, which is about the same brightness as a 150 watt light bulb. That makes 6,000 lumens for a kit of 4 sections, or a brightness similar to a 600 watt light bulb. Unlike fluorescent lights, there is no flicker with Specular. They're daylight balanced at 5600K with a CRI of 94+. We'll talk more about that CRI stuff at the end of the video. They can be dimmed from 100% all the way down to 10%, and they output light at a beam angle of 120 degrees. And they're small, just 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters square and 12 inches or 30 centimeters in length. Specular comes as a kit of 4 LED sections. Each section is built with aluminum and ABS plastic for a total per section weight of about 3/4 of a pound, which is 335 grams. One section in each kit has the power switch, dimmer switch, and plug for the power supply. Also in the case are 4 of these cool hinge connectors, 1 1/4-20-inch mount, 8 gel holders, the AC power supply, and the instructions. Not like anybody reads those. To use Specular, start with a control section and add a stand mount. Then, depending on the configuration you want to make, in this case, I'm going to make a simple panel, you just slip a hinge connector on one end and keep adding pieces. They just slide right in, and then you tighten them in place so that the unit is not going to come apart while you use it. The hinge connectors also flip in the opposite direction so that you can create triangles and hexagons. Now let me say right now that I think this lighting system is brilliant, but please don't lose sight of the fact that they are small. So if you're like me and you tend to use large light modifiers, you will need to take a different approach to your lighting. Now that doesn't make it bad, but it does make it different. And it definitely helps if you're comfortable and confident with your lighting skills. To prove my point, I wanted to use Specular to create the same lighting styles that I normally do with my big modifiers. The folks at Spiffy Gear were kind enough to give me 2 sets to test out. So I started with a simple headshot. You can see here that I have 1 set of 4 above the camera as my main light, and 1 set of 4 behind my subject to light the white wall. I was able to shoot this at ISO 200 with a shutter speed of 1/100th of a second at f4. Then I moved both lights in front of my subject for a simple clamshell lighting effect. This one was also at ISO 200, 1/100th of a second at f4. Next, I switched to a number 62 purple seamless paper background from Savage Universal and used just 4 of the Specular panels arranged in a square. With my subject seated just in front of the background and the Specular light panel placed about 2 feet in front of her, I was able to shoot this at ISO 200 with a shutter speed of 1/100th of a second at f4. Next up, a different subject in front of a number 24 orange seamless from Savage. Still with the same square arrangement, but this time I've used 3 additional Specular panels behind my subject. One is creating a nice glow in the orange background, and the other 2 are placed camera right and camera left as rim lights. For the 3 lights behind my subject, I have 1 main bar from the second kit, and the 2 additional ones are attached using the Expansion Extension Accessory Kit. The Expansion Kit comes with 2 additional mounting pieces for light stands, 2 section-to-section extension cords, and 2 straight connectors. So now I have a 4-light setup and a shot that was done at ISO 200 with a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second at f4. Next I switched to a number 20 black seamless from Savage and used the same square as my main light and just 2 of the rims on camera left and camera right. Shooting at the same ISO 200 with a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second at f4, I was able to get this series of portraits. Spiffy Gear also has a cool accessory called the star adapter. This adapter lets you attach 8 of the LED bars to a central ring. This arrangement gives you a really sweet broad light source and a very cool catch light. This shot was done with my subject sitting in front of a number 27 Thunder Gray Savage backdrop. I shot at ISO 200 with a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second at f4. Here's the same arrangement on the purple background. If I add a fan and then back the specular star up to about 4 feet from the subject, you'll notice the catch light becomes much smaller, and I can shoot a beauty shot like this, with an ISO of 400, an aperture of f4, and an intentionally slow shutter speed of 1/80th of a second to get some blur on the ends of the blowing hair. Okay, mission accomplished. I was able to recreate a few of my favorite lighting styles with Specular. But how about having some fun with color? This 3/4 length shot was done with just one Specular kit. My model is standing in front of a 01 super white backdrop with 2 bars on camera left, unfiltered, and at full power. On camera right, I have 2 more bars with a blue gel placed over them. This shot was done at ISO 400, 1/80th of a second at f3.5. The filter blue light on camera right is just bright enough to add color to the shadows created from the main light on camera left. Next, I went back to the black background and placed 2 bars on camera left as my main light, 2 bars on camera right with a blue gel, and then used 2 bars with a pink gel behind my model on camera right, and lastly 1 bar with a pink gel behind my model on camera left. The pink gel's light up her blonde hair, and the blue gel is coloring the shadowed side of her face. This shot was done at ISO 400 and 1/80th of a second at f4. For my last setup, I used the same lights and gels, but moved the blue set behind my model on camera right, so that it was creating a bit of a rim light, but not filling in the shadows of the face. At the same settings, I was able to create this series of shots. In addition to the Specular Kit, the expansion kit, and the star adapter, Spiffy Gear also has a battery adapter that will allow you to use any DTAP-enabled V-mount battery. The Specular Core Kit sells for $650. The accessories are each priced at $130. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You think this is expensive and that you can buy a few speedlights for the same price. Well, you could buy a few speedlights for the same price, but you can't match the versatility that Specular provides at this price. Certainly, Specular is not going to be for everyone, but as you've heard me say many times before, there's no one light that will meet all of your needs as a photographer. While I have proven to you that it works great with people, I also think that Specular is perfectly suited for shooting products, and I have no doubt that cinematographers and videographers will fall in love with this system. Just to give you a comparison, a Westcott ice light, which so many of you geartographers oohed and ahed over, the ice light sells for $500 and has a much narrower beam output of 72.6 degrees, and it outputs only 1,740 lumens of light. In other words, it's only slightly brighter than one Specular bar, with a narrower angle, and it costs almost as much as a whole Specular kit. So, like most Westcott products, it's overpriced for what it offers. Be sure to follow the rest of the videos that I'll be doing in this LED series, because I'll finish with some hybrid lighting arrangements using Specular in combination with strobes and ambient light. You can purchase Specular online at spiffygear.com, and it's currently available at Adorama and B&H Photo, with more retailers to come. Oh, and one last tip about Specular. Remember the gel clips that I mentioned? They also serve another awesome purpose. If you buy a roll of Roscoe Cinefoil, which every photographer should have in their studio anyway, cut a 12-inch piece and wrap it around the back of the Specular bar. Then attach a gel clip from the back, one at either end, and you now have a shapeable set of barn doors for the Specular lights. You could even do the same thing with regular aluminum foil to make a reflector that will give you a slightly broader light coming from one bar. So what's the big deal about CRI? CRI stands for Color Rendering Index. Now this is not the same as color temperature that is measured in degrees Kelvin. The simple explanation is that CRI is a measure that shows us how well a light source makes the color of an object appear to the human eye, and how realistically or naturally the light source makes different shades appear in relationship to each other. In other words, CRI explains how accurately a light source is rendering any color in comparison to daylight. Is CRI important? Yes. Well, not really. Well, yeah. Well, let me explain. It really depends on what you are photographing and how accurately you want or need your colors to be. If you're reproducing artwork for cataloging purposes, you need to work with lights that have a very high CRI because you need the colors to reproduce accurately and in the proper relationship to each other. This would be the same if you were photographing products for advertising or clothing for a catalog. Now, if you're doing something that is subjective, like a creative shot of a model lit by neon signs on a city street at night, you probably don't need to care as much about CRI as you're not likely to be concerned about having an exact color match. The same thing can be said for a portrait. The bigger the number, the better. CRI is measured on a scale that uses 100 as the best. Incandescent bulbs have a CRI of 100 because they don't have any color discrimination. But we all know that incandescent bulbs are not very efficient. When it comes to LEDs, the bulbs that are considered good, if they have a CRI of 85 to 90, but the light sources which have a CRI of 90 or higher are known as excellent and are the most appropriate for tasks that require the most accurate color. Just like any other aspect of science, I could dig much deeper into this. The problem is, I would get a headache before you do. So in short, higher the CRI, better the color match. Regardless of the type of work that you want to do, keep your CRI above 85 and you'll have acceptable results. Unless you need that perfect color match, then you need 95 or higher. Next up in the LED lighting series, I'm going to take a look at some sweet lighting panels called EdgeLit Pro from Savage Universal, and I'm going to put them to use in the studio and on location. Until then, I hope you found this useful. Please hit that thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss any videos. And until next time, go pick up that camera and shoot something, because your best shot, it's your next shot. So keep learning, keep thinking, and keep shooting. Adios.